So you guys that have been watching the channel for a while might remember the mini bike, you might remember the ice shack, and you might remember the incident. Normally we have a small pond on the far side of the yard. But today we have a rather large pond, sort of all over the yard. And if you'll notice, there's an ice shack inside of the pond. So we're gonna go check that out. Hoping to kayak over to that, but it looks like this is kind of frozen. Yeah, I might be able to break through that, I guess. I'm pretty sure there's a mini bike in there. And of course, this little guy was inside. There we go. Oh yeah. The funny thing about YouTube is you get people from all over the country and sometimes from all over the world, and I cannot count the number of people that asked why I was such an idiot and built my shed down in the middle of a swamp like that. Well, it wasn't a shed, it was an ice shack. It was about 2 feet off the ground on some tires, and that was dry enough down there at one point that I was able to back that ice shack down there with a full-size pickup. Well, I don't think I can really get in there with my boots. No. I don't think the kayak will fit in there either. Now, I did know that if we got a lot of rain or just from a really wet spring, that could see some water down there. When we moved into this place, there was, I think, probably about maybe 6 inches, a foot of water down there. It wasn't anything that I was concerned about. Can I get the couch over to me? I just can't believe this all happened overnight. This is crazy. Obviously, that was a bit of a miscalculation on my part, and that day we woke up and there wasn't 6 inches, there wasn't a foot of water. There was about 4.5 feet of water. I'm gonna try to get in there if you can hold my kayak. It was enough that inside of the ice shack, 2 feet off of the ground, and then another maybe 1.5 feet on top of the couch that was floating in there, with my probably foot-high boots, I was still getting water in them. Yeah, that's not good. I don't even know what to do with this thing. So obviously with that 4.5 feet of water down there was no way I was getting my truck down there to pull the whole ice shack out. I didn't want to let this thing sit in the water, so I basically just threw it up on top of the counter in there. Nope. My boot. Oh, I got cold toes. And then figured within a couple weeks the water level would go down, I'd be able to just walk down there maybe even and just carry this thing right out. Well, that didn't happen. So I tried to drive the four-wheeler down there a couple times, and I could almost get it close enough that I could walk out onto the front rack and get in and try to pull this thing out onto the rack, and the back of the quad would start to come up because it was just in that much water. So I decided rather than wreck two machines, I would just let this thing sit. So it sat in there for a bit longer. Eventually the water level did go down a bit. I was then able to drag the furniture and a few other things out with the winch on the quad. And then I did just end up tossing this right on the front rack of the quad, backing it out. I pulled it in here, drained the water oil mixture that had leaked into the motor. Yikes, I think there's more water in there than there is oil. Flushed it out a couple times and then put new oil in it. Gave the carburetor a bit of a quick clean on the bike. If you guys have been watching the channel for a long time, you might remember Leon Shapinski. He actually brought this thing over one day for us to ride around here a bit, and then just never took it home. When he left it with me, the air cleaner consisted of a red shop rag and some foam stuffed down into what was left of the intake that had been busted off at some point. I switched that out for a Hanes sock and rode it around like that for a bit, and as inventive as that was, I decided I should probably switch that out for a real air cleaner. I decided that looping the chain might be a good idea since it had been submerged for some amount of time. I also flushed the tank and put some brand new 93 octane fuel in it. Stuck a little fuel filter down in here just in case anything was floating around in here after it went swimming. I did have to grease up the brake a little bit. This is a drum in the rear and something was kind of locked up in there. Seems like that works now, which is probably a good thing because this thing is fairly dangerous. So now with the brakes in order, sort of, I think it's time to take this thing out and see what it'll do.
So go ahead and laugh at my full moto gear here, but I guarantee you it wouldn't take more than a couple seconds on this thing for you to wish that you were dressed like me if you were on it too. This is a scary machine. You lean just a little bit too far back and the power of the motor just brings that front tire up. Granted, the wheelbase is about this big, but oh my gosh, this thing is a little monster. Whoa! Oh. Act like nothing's happening. You don't care. So just for reference, woo, it has been raining for the last like 2 days, and this right here is the area where the ice shack was. Obviously there's some small puddles here, but this area has pretty much been dry since it finally dried out, and I was able to drag the shack out of there. This thing is running darn good. I am super happy and really pretty impressed, whoa, with how resilient this thing is. Ooh, big hill, yeah! Another big hill. Oh. Let's see if we can make it up the big hill. The big hill. Whoa! Whoa! Man! Holy man! That is one intense workout. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Looks like my clutch is on fire. She's just a little warm. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like. Let me know down in the comment box below how many of you guys have mini bikes. If you guys want to see videos like this, probably not so much on the mini bike, more so on a dual sport in the beautiful Wisconsin woods, then click the Swanky Cat logo down at the bottom. Click the bell after you subscribe so it lets you know anytime I put a video out, which is at least once a week on the weekends. Otherwise, if you want to see more videos right now, check them out at the top. But if it's a beautiful day out by you, like it is here, then get out and enjoy it, man. It is just such a nice day. Look at the chipmunk enjoying your little spot in the sun, hey buddy?